So, I had a little problem with their first one. But we're going to go through it again. Oh, field center. Put that off to the side. Anyway, it's kind of because it was a special request for our group. I decided to build Marincess again. When it came out, I picked up the deck. Of our little local tournaments with it, and just kind of put the deck away. Want to play with other stuff. And now, since we got some new spice for it, the deck's pretty strong, especially in this meta. It was pretty much like the counter for our nationals meta. Let's say if the 10U was going to be like the misrepresented one in the room, Marincess had a pretty decent matchup against it. They can create big monster, and their soul swords are pretty well at developing big monsters. Plus, a lot of this deck's dedicated to hand traps. And at this point in the game, it's very critical to run some hand traps to stop a lot of plays. Plus, we can afford that by not needing to run so many starter cards. Our blue slug, we're going to go through our extra deck first. Use a level 4 or lower Marincess monster. You'll be able to target Marincess monster in your graveyard. It'll return to your hand. In this build, since I'm kind of playing the budget option, I don't have the money for the droplets or the Marincess dive, or even the nomination for the, well, the Brrr play. Because in this deck we will be summoning out a lot of monsters, so that's something we want to be able to counter. Plus, it helps this deck because we are making towers in this deck. Same deal with her. Level 4 or lower Marincess monster make. You get the good search out spell, which in my build is nothing but the field spell. Now, if I had the deep dive, I'd play the deep dive and the field spell for obvious reasons. Deep dive gives you a lot of extenders. I will play the one splash mage. I find the one splash mage giving the extender piece at certain points that just kind of come up. I play 2 Crystal Heart in this build. Yes, if I had all the cards that I really do require, I would be cutting Crystal Heart down to 1 and the Saint Angel down to 1. I really feel like I could be able to see more of my starting plays. But my build, I want reoccurring stuff and kind of keep making towers. This is how this deck's going to win for me. I don't have the money to dump into the good stuff. Marincess Core Animati, pretty much bring her out, you'll be able to target a Marincess monster and summon to the zone if she wants to. Now, if she gets sent to the field, to the graveyard, you get to target a Marincess card. That could be your field spell if they got rid of it. Could be your trap if you're needing to reoccur it pretty easily and not spend a whole lot. It could be also your blue tank starter, which if you end up with a jank hand and barely combo off, you want to see a blue tank to at least start again. And that's where we come up with our Marincess Coil Triangle. Now her deal is, she's a length 3, so she'll take 3 Marincess monsters. No, she is the one that is not as generic as most. But it's still not hard to get. So the deal with her is, usually off the Animanti, you go into her, you'll get back the body from the graveyard, you'll pitch it, and it'll allow you to search for the trap card. Your trap card's going to be able to stop a lot of plays. It's pretty much an infinite permanence out of your hand since you have a Link 3, and make sure monsters are unaffected. So if you have your field card and this with the, you're pretty well set. You're going to say, I infinite permanence, whatever start you want, and now my stuff is unaffected, plus it is beefed up beyond belief. Also, something I play at 2 that if I had everything that I would play in this deck, I would cap it down to 1. What she's going to do, and brings out besides being a decent body, being 25, she's going to be able to get you a Marincess card in your graveyard. That's perfect. That's perfect how to like reoccur a lot of things. Okay, we go to Manti. We go to our extender, and we can play this. Going back to the coral triangle here. Let's say you don't have anything on field. This is in the graveyard. You can banish her, and then you can summon up to a link rating of 3 link monsters from the graveyard. So you pretty much get all started over again. I'll go coral and I don't know, just something else. You kind of already seen what's happening. I'm going to go into the Marble Rock. Marble Rock going to give me back whatever I need. The Amenti going to give me back whatever Marincess card I need. So you pretty much have your going second set up if you go and play your triangle and you get wiped for some reason. Now, Wonderheart is absolutely amazing. It's not the first one I always set up. It's definitely not the first one I set up. It's the second one I like to set up. This is the one I want to push for OTK because once it attacks during damage calculation, okay, you get to take one of your equipped monsters that is equipped to it, special summon it. Okay, it's going to gain its little 200 off of field card, but you have another body to attack with. That tends to stack up pretty quickly. Plus, it doesn't immediately go back after the battle phase. So, if you wanted to, for whatever reason, and you see the play ahead, you could crystal heart yourself out this and make another towers in your extra monster zone, which is phenomenal. Because normally I don't have him in the extra monster zone. He's usually just right below either the Great Bubble Reef, which is my fallback play. When everything else kind of just hits the fan and does nothing for me, barely farm extensions, my opponent interrupt me twice, I land on Bubble Reef. Bubble Reef is going to at least allow me to banish a water monster from the field or the grave, and then I'll be able to draw a card. And then by banishing a card, it's going to gain 600. So it's going to be a 32 beater. I can literally just sit here with a 32 beater, and I must be fine with the game state. Now here's our new one that kind of breaks the mold. Marincess Aqua Agronaut. Now she is our Link 4, and while in the extra monster zone, your opponent cannot attack anything else for attacks but her. Yes, she is a 23 and she needs a little bit of help beefing up. She also has the ability to target one of your own water monsters and one of your opponent's monsters and shuffle them back into the hand. So you can get rid of a problem piece on the field usually. And one of his other great effects is you can take one of the monsters that have been equipped to the Agronauts. When your opponent decides to activate Spoil Trap or Effect, you special summon up one of the equipped monsters and you negate the activation. There's so many good things that the Marincess offers. The great reoccurrence, the ability to go into towers, the miniature towers with the imperm, and being able to kind of control the game state if you get white, be able to reoccur your pieces and land whatever you need. That's what's fantastic about this. So I'm gonna go back over this. The pieces that I would change out if I had the cards would be a Sea Angel, would be a Crystal Heart, and a Marble Rock. I can see myself with Bahamut Shark and a Totally Awesome, and like a Kraken, and or I can also find myself with the water water charmer that allows you to use your water monsters and then take your opponent's water monster from the grave. So that's really good in a 10E matchup. That's why I also feel like they use this type deck in hopes that it was going to be the counter meta to the most represented deck being Soul Sword. So I'm not running it that way. I don't have the money, but Marincess is still lit. We're done with the extra. I'm going to start going through the main. Now we do play the 3 blue tank. Blue tank, pretty much when it is normal summon or special summon, you'll be able to send I'm pretty sure a monster. Let me make sure. Yeah, Marincess monster from your deck to the graveyard. So normally it'll be like a Sleeping Maiden, because what you'll end up doing is linking off, going into Blue Slug. You'll be able to chain Blue Slug 1, targeting your Sleeping Maiden. So you're pretty much being able to guarantee your link climb build up, instead of risking the biscuit completely with the blue tank. Because the blue tank is going to excavate 3, and if it's a Marincess card, you get to add it to your hand. If it's an extension, great, but that's why we're using the blue tank to add back the Sleeping Maiden. And then after that, what we want to see off of the mill, if anything, put this in our hand. Because when we have this in our hand, and a zone and Marincess points to, this can be special summoned from the hand. It doesn't end there though. Except for the turn that it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card and special summon up from your hand. So usually I Adamanti, right? Get back a blue slug, or a blue tank, my bad, and use a seahorse on the follow-up turn, break out the blue tank. Because what I would try to do, and this is what happens a lot, and it's funny, I almost chuckle now because it happens just about every time I ever try to play this. Marincess Pascals. So her deal is you normal summon and then you get the special summon. I want to be able to special summon the blue tank. They keep negating this. Right. Gets frustrating. And then of course, once it's in your grave, you get to banish this and add a spell or trap. So there's your reoccurrence. As long as you can find it out of your deck, put it in your grave, a lot of reoccurring pieces. You get your Adamanti, you have your rank 3 Mobile Rock, get back, Amp Sauce. If you're really aching to get your field card back to keep your towers alive, and or your imperm, plus pretty much keeping all your stuff unaffected. Here's one I wish I had 3 of, only have the 2 of. Marincess Spring Girl. So her deal is I'll be able to banish a Marincess, I think, monster. Yeah, banish a Marincess monster from the graveyard, and then you can pull this out in field. So there's your extender body. The side she used for link. She counts how many you have on field, and then burns your opponent for 200 times that many. I hardly use that effect ever. I usually just don't even count for it. I just go for the extra body. And said about the Sleepy Maiden. Very much you target a Marincess on field, and you can bring it out. Now it's going to give it a couple effects. The effects don't really matter. The target card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. The other effect of this is great, because when you want to set up with, where is it now? Let's say your Hoss boss. He has a little weaker attack, but the effect is amazing. What you can do is, once it's in the graveyard, banish it, and then equip the 4th, so you gain another 600, so you can negate and keep, like, your guy rocking and rolling for that attack damage. And then for my build, since I don't have everything, I do play the 2 Marincess Mandarin. Now, if I have this in my graveyard or hand, and 2 Marincess on the field with link points to, I get to summon this out. After it leaves the field, it banishes it itself. So it pretty much just becomes an extender. I kind of find it necessary at this point because I don't own everything that I want to. So I'm just trying to push the deck with what I have. So this is almost a budget option, but there's still going to be some expensive pieces. So the 1-for-1 is for the Mandarin, which I play at 2. So you open up one, hopefully get the other one. You get the idea. It's kind of like you play terraforming at 1 and the field card at 2 kind of ratio. Alright, from there, like, we hate to use it, but we're going to anyway. We run a bunch of hand traps. We really need to see the blue tang. Hit the silent mining. Get our play started. I'll play 2 Battle Ocean. Yeah, one will get hit, one I can reoccur, but that's also the other reason why I run 2 of the Marincess Sea Angel. So I get hit my first go. I use my second angel and get my own. I can actually put it in the graveyard and get started, because it's you need to get your play started. From there, we're going to play 3 Ash Blossom, which, I mean, yeah, it's Ash Blossom. Debatable, one of the better hand traps in the game at this point in time is the Ghost Ogre. And then everybody other seems to be doing it. We're going to play 3 Effect Veiler, because we just don't want monster effects to resolve in field. And then, since most of our stuff is towers, and this is definitely geared toward towers, and I don't have what I've been talking about, the Nomad Exterminator, to stop the whole Nibiru play against me, I can still gear toward this deck being more tower based, versus just trying to rely on the trap, become unaffected, and have the 1 ocean backup to play off of. It's because I'm unlimited resource. So if you have everything, you know, fantastic. But if you're limited like me, by all means, 3 Nibiru, because your opponent likes to go off, and more likely you're going to have an established towers, which this crumples their entire whatever they want to do. Ghost Spell, it's just that off hand trap that actually hits a lot of cards because of the stipulations that it has. Called by the Grave. Twin Twister, which kind of pops up funny most of the time. 3 Infinite Impermanence, right, because we're not trying to stop anything, are we? Oh yeah, literally everything. We want to stop our opponent from playing and see one of our or two of our Marincess cards and just snowball off and make sure that we land on something huge and have enough things to say no to our opponents. From there, we'll play the 2 Marincess Wave. Yet again, it's one of those things like, okay, if I draw into it, great, I don't have to go get it, but yet again, it's like, if I get blocked out into searching it, it becomes a really pain, and yay, plus, it does so much for the deck. I'm playing Rivalry Warlords. Now, you can put just Goza Match in there. Goza Match is probably the better one, because, yeah. I mean, both of them are going to mess up the whole Nibiru play, but I guess that could be good for you to stop, you know, them Nibiruing you. You kind of get the whole gist of this. So yeah, a bunch of one-up starters, a bunch of reoccurring pieces, set up with Ocean, set up with the Marincess Wave. We're going to set up the towers and start negating everything that our opponent wants to play. And hopefully that's enough where we can, luck of the draw, not hit so many hand traps and see enough Marincess stuff to spin off and, well, create that board that is unbeatable pretty much. I mean, Towers is pretty rough, guys. And then a semi-towers on top of that, it's really hard for your opponent to even try to conjure a way to get around something like that established. Let alone every single hand trap that you're like pushing to play in this deck. 3 cards in the extra decks. But like I said, this isn't a complete build, so I'm not even going to try to use my, or craft a sideboard. There's no point. But I am getting great results within our group. And we've run a couple tournaments and played about everybody. This has come out having a tremendous win ratio. The only time it ever really just flat out does nothing, you open up with the Marincess stuff, and somehow they stop the 1 or 2 plays that matter, and ouch. That, or you end up with too many hand traps. And hopefully you hit the hand traps at the right time, so you luck draw into the Marincess stuff to play. So you can see why it didn't do as good as it probably should have, because like the bricks are there. You're all pretty much playing like 20 hand traps, 20 engine. It's kind of like half and half. And yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, this is my Marincess build for the point in time until I decide to invest some money into it, but I am enjoying it. I've enjoyed it since I picked it up, and it's definitely a fun deck. It's been holding its own. So, hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you on the flip side.